Okay, well, welcome to our Meet the Candidates night. Thank you very much for coming, especially when it looks like we might get some rain. The candidates that offered to run for the board, thank you very much. They are in alphabetical order: Lisa Kilpatrick, Mike Petty, Doug Schaefer, and Judy Steffen. Bob Thomas. Microphone. Sorry. Doug Schaefer, Judy Steffen, Bob Thomas. I'm Bob tonight. I tried to get a gray beard, it didn't work, so I'm going to read his little speech. Okay, if we're ready, then I think I'll just let Lisa Scott the microphone. And Lisa, maybe if you'll stand up. He said just to push it till it turns green. You have to hold it down till it turns green.
Hello.
Yes.
Should I stand? Okay.
It might help.
That helps. All right. So hi everyone, thanks for coming. My husband and I moved to Phoenix from Pennsylvania about 5 years ago. We lived in Pennsylvania for 19 years. You can probably figure out why we moved to Phoenix, because we were in Pennsylvania for 19 years. I went there for graduate school, graduated from Penn State with my PhD in molecular biology. My daughter grew up there. That was a great place for her to grow up. And then she went to Penn State, graduated, and we decided to come back west. So we came to Phoenix. My mom lives here. His mom lives here. My mom actually has been a member of our community for almost 20 years, I believe. So in those 19 years that we lived in Pennsylvania, we would come visit. And we would have the opportunity to come to the Ark. We'd go to the pool and I'd use the facilities. And that was one of our major deciding factors when we ended up buying a house. We decided we want a community, we like the facilities at the Ark, so we bought our house in Ahwatukee 2 years ago. We had to wait until my husband turned 55. So we waited 2 years ago, we finally bought our house. And then I joined the Finance Committee, where I've been for 2 years. I am the current chairman of the Finance Committee. And through those 2 years, I have really learned a lot about the structure of the Ark, the finances of the Ark. I've gotten to work with all the wonderful people, the people in the office, they all work so hard. And I would just like to be able to help them facilitate their jobs and do whatever I can to make the Ark a better place for everyone. So I love the opportunities here. I would like to try and assist the board, the committee members, the office members in any way that I can to kind of move it into the future and, evolve in any way that is beneficial for everyone, make it more welcoming. So that's me. Thank you.
Mike Petty, he's going to do his little 2 or 3 minutes. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Yes, I've been in the Ahwatukee area since '91, but in the Ark area the last 6 years. While at the Ark, I've enjoyed the facilities a lot. It's been a big thing to me. I really enjoyed pickleball until I had to slow down because of a foot issue. I enjoy the wood shop and people over there. Coffee time, I have coffee time here and coffee time with some military guys. We get together pretty much 4 days a week. I really enjoy what the Ark has to offer to people in terms of recreation and enjoyment. And I think we can improve on that. And I'm a little concerned at the relatively low participation at the Ark. And I think we need to make it more inviting to the people that don't really show up. They just pay their dues and don't ever show up. I'm also very interested in containing the costs. I think that some of the expenditures and the way they have done projects in the past could be done better. I would like to be able to control or reduce our dues and expenses. Thank you.
Doug Schaefer's next.
Thank you. I've been living in Ahwatukee since 1989, and I've seen the growth and expansion that has come with time. And I have loved everything that's happened, and I feel that it's a privilege and an honor to try to serve on this board, to try to maintain or improve the conditions that we currently have. and I will go out of my way to do whatever I can to make it right for everyone that is here in Ahwatukee. And I'm very proud to be a member of the Ahwatukee community. And if I can do anything to help anybody, I will go out of my way to make it happen. So, thank you.
Yes, I'm standing. Hi, I was born in Chicago, got a degree in instrumental music education, and taught in high school in Tulsa, Oklahoma. When I retired from teaching, I worked towards a degree in computer programming, and then we were transferred. Then I got a degree in accounting and pursued the accounting field for the rest of my working career. We moved to Ahwatukee in 2008 when we downsized. We moved all the way from Tempe to Ahwatukee, far jump. I have been extremely involved in every aspect of the ARC since we moved to Ahwatukee. I've been on many committees and boards. I've participated in many activities, from exercise classes to cards to the Easter parade. I want to see other members of the Ahwatukee area, our 55 plus area, become more aware of what the ARC has to offer, and to see them come to the ARC and participate in some of these wonderful activities that we can offer to them to do, to stay busy while they are retired. I feel as if my organizational skills, my need for procedure, all would help me help you, help the ARC grow. And everybody said everything I wanted to say. So thank you very much.
Hi, fellow ARC members. I'm Bob Thomas, and I'm seeking re-election to the ARC board. I'm out of town right now, so I made this video for you to hear what I had to say. As you all know, the last year and a half have been many challenges for everybody. I think you'll agree that the ARC staff and board members did a great job steering us through this turmoil and confusion time. I'm proud to say that I was on the board during that time and was a part of the good leadership. Ahwatukee has been my home for 30 years, and I've enjoyed being an ARC member for about 20 of those years. I love the ARC, and I feel that its function has a great asset to our community. Our participation here at the ARC provides us with opportunities to make friends, maintain our fitness, have adventures, and to utilize the personal skills and training we have gained over our lives. I personally can vouch for the great experiences with the wood shop, cycling, RVing, and hiking and pickleball clubs. I graduated from the University of Michigan School of Engineering a long time ago. I have had a career in the auto industry, and like us all, my education continued long after school was out. Over the years, I have held many positions and had many learning opportunities and challenges to master. Some positions I had in the auto industry related to vehicular evaluation and testing, employee management, and a significant duty I had and useful at the ARC was developing, maintaining, tracking a $10 million budget each year. I have been on the ARC Finance Committee for 2 years, on the ARC board for 3 years, and I enjoy the chance to apply some of my accrued life skill positions and groups at the ARC for the last several years. If I'm reelected to the board, my main objective will be to improve the use of the Building B, that's the aerobics and gym area. Along with my fellow board members, standing committees, and long-range planning committee, we have already brainstorming many ideas to achieve this goal. My experience and familiarity with the job here and how to do it is a plus. Of course, there are many willing people at the ARC with equal valuable skills. The difference and asset I offer is no learning curve. I have been on the board for 3 years, and my experience and familiarity with it, and therefore I'm more effective right away. At this time, I'm asking for your support and to re-elect me to the position on the ARC for another 3 years. Thank you.
Now we will take some questions. They have a microphone, so if you want to address it to a certain person, if you'll just call their name and they can pass the microphone around. If you have a question that you'd like to have all of them answer, then please state that so we know kind of ahead of time. And I'll try to come down with the microphone, or you can just shout. Does anybody have a question? Yes.
And people are still upset about not being able to use these facilities.
Can't hear.
Then we came right out with the ARC newsletter, and we're gonna have a drive-by Thanksgiving dinner. That should be changed. And I wanna know if all the rest of these people feel the same thing. We need to start giving back to us, doing more things for us. Stop talking about new construction and tearing down buildings and pergolas and everything else. Now let's get back to the way we were before.
Okay.
Okay?
Does anybody have a comment or a question? I will speak out just for what I believe. The Thanksgiving dinner did not happen last year because of COVID. And this year there was some discussion about going ahead and doing it. When we talked about it at the board meeting, and other board members that are here can clarify this, we talked about we're always several months ahead of time, we realize, on our scheduling. And it was brought up about actually doing it in here like they've done before. And at the time, we didn't have anybody to chair it. And that takes a big effort to get somebody to chair it. So I believe, if I'm right, and I hope I am, that we decided to go ahead this year and do the drive-by, turkey dressing and all that, until we could get kind of more up to speed and get people to volunteer. Does that help? I mean, and that is a hard thing, and I have to tell you this from the board's point of view. It's really hard because we're always trying to work a few months out because they're trying to get things on the schedule. And, if you're like me, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And so it's very difficult to plan ahead. I think you have a good point. I know people really loved that dinner. And I would say if any of you here would like to participate next year, please speak to one of the board members or Mary in the activities and say, I will help. I will come and help. Yes.
I would just like to clarify, I was the chairperson of that Thanksgiving dinner for 9 years. I had a wonderful, wonderful committee. We did the Thanksgiving dinner because we felt it was something that we could give to the community and have a family-oriented dinner. Since we couldn't have it last year, I had told my committee that I was done, that they needed to be thinking about getting another chairperson. It's a lot of work, but it's well worth it. And I would pray and hope that somebody steps forward and volunteers. We have all of the instruments for making it a very, very nice dinner with linen tablecloths and napkins, and it's very, very nice. We would love to do it again, but I just can't.
I think 9 years is enough.
So a job well done for 9 years.
Yes. I do think that is one thing, and all of you have mentioned wanting to do things, and I think that's always a problem. We need people to step up and help us. So maybe we can start early in the spring and say, okay, folks, we want the Thanksgiving dinner, speak up. Okay.
Okay, you mentioned that things aren't opening up at the ARC. All of the activities are open currently. There is nothing that is not open. The Entertainers is having Ken Katz come to the ARC in November for a show in the evenings. We had a wonderful member appreciation dinner 2 Fridays ago. This room was full and there was music playing. Fellas are playing pool all the time. The pools are open for swimming and for classes. There have been exercise classes added to the schedule since we opened up for COVID. The art building is full. Building C full of rooms filled with people taking care of everything. We are opening up. There are just some things that take a little longer to get back to where they were. And I served that turkey dinner for 2 years.
Okay, do you want to, anybody else have a comment or we have another question? Mike, did you have a comment or question or answer?
Well, yes, could I have the microphone, please?
I'll hand you mine.
Thank you.
Mine's on.
Okay, I happen to disagree with Judy pretty strongly. Building C is pretty much empty. If you look at the participation over there, it's pretty minimal. If you look at the pancake breakfast, where's that? Used to be a pretty big activity.
It's coming.
This year?
Yep, it is. Yep, it's coming.
That's the first I had heard that it was, and I'm in the wood shop.
I know for a fact.
Okay, that's great.
At the wood shop meeting last week, we set it for the first Saturday in March.
It was tentative.
Yeah, we set it.
But that's about as good as you can get as far as, you know, unless something really tragic happens, you know, but I think it's on the agenda, am I right? It's on the agenda.
In my opinion, drive-through food trucks doesn't really constitute an event.
Well, right, that's true, and a lot of people do enjoy those, and they were good during the COVID to have a drive-through. I came up here and was shocked the first time they had one. There were so many people out here, I stood in line for 45 minutes to get my dinner, but it was, you know, it was good. But I see what you're saying, but yeah, the pancake breakfast is back on. Yep, it is. Okay, any other questions? Barb, I'll get you, and then I'll come over there.
I realize this is a little opposition to what I just heard here as a question. However, this building is 50, or this complex is 50 years old. Things happen in 50 years. Fortunately, we have been able to redo this main hall and add it to the extension. Plus, a few years later, we redid the east side of the building A. It's fine. It's got a lot of potential. It's got a lot of value to it now. Soon after this was all complete, a survey was sent out to members, asking them what they felt was the most important thing needed here at the ARC. Knowing that this is a 50-year-old building, what do you think and what needs to be changed and what needs to be added? Of the people who responded to that, it was overwhelming that we needed to do something to Building B. Building B is not adequate for what we use it for and what we need it for. You know that many exercise classes now are so large they have to be in the main hall during the day. That takes away from other things that need to be in the main hall. So my question for you is, I want to go on to say that after that, the board and the long-range planning committee kind of planned to do that, to save the money. We didn't have enough money to go on and do whatever we needed to do to Building B. Lots of planning had to be done, investigating had to be done. So it was kind of the idea of the board at that time that that would be the next big project. Of course, the parking lot interfered with that, and then lots of things have happened since then. My question for you is, do you agree with that survey that was taken, or what do you think is the most important thing that needs to be done here at the ARC for a 50-year-old complex? All of you.
I'm the chairman of the properties committee currently, and we started discussing Building B today. And what we're trying to do is find out exactly what the members are requesting and need for Building B, and find out exactly what the board requires the property members to look into for Building B. We did discuss that the exercise classes are located in the main hall, and that there's rooms in Building B that are no longer in use, such as the massage room and the spa. And so this is something that we are currently discussing.
I think your phone's going off.
I know, it won't stop.
Turn it down.
It's on airplane.
Turn the side.
Turn the sound off. I think it's a reminder.
Doug, did you have a comment? Or Judy, are you finished? I guess not. Yes. Okay. Doug, did you have a comment? Answer to Barb's question. She was asking Doug or Mike or Lisa, any of you, do you have an idea do you agree with the Building B emphasis next? Or was there something else that you would prefer? Or Barb said she'd like to know kind of where you're standing, each of you, on any future plans, because it is a 50-year-old complex, right? So Doug, is there any comment? If not, we'll hand it on to Mike.
I live in a house that's probably 50 years old. The gym is very adequate. The exercise part. The equipment is in top shape. To tear that down is foolish and it's a waste of money. The other part, the swimming pool, I know they've had refurb issues. And if we need to spend money to have the pool maintained and up to snuff, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But if we need more physical square footage for activities, maybe you can have 2 of the activities and not have to have everybody at the same one. I would like to see us try to conserve money, not try to figure out how we can spend money.
I just will make a comment though. That sounds good, but if you have 2 classes, you're now paying an instructor twice. So I'm just making that comment. You do have to.
You know, the exercise people are the only ones that I think the ARC pays for the instructors. The ARC has turned instructors away for playing ping pong. They wouldn't let them just volunteer their time.
Okay, I was not aware of that. Okay.
We had the same problem with pickleball. They would not allow people to participate in pickleball and be leaders and organize tournaments unless they were a social member. It costed $600 a year. The ARC refused to build the lights until after all the city folks built their lights, and the leadership of that whole organization pretty much migrated away. The ARC did not support making that a strong club. They were a detriment.
This is before my time on the board, but I believe the board did spend a lot of money building the pickleball courts.
They did.
So I would say that's a strong support. Okay, Lisa?
Yeah, I would just like to say I do agree that we need to redo Building B. I'm a fitness instructor. I'm the current chairman of the finance committee. And so I work very closely with the properties committee. And it's on the schedule, so we're gonna work to Building B and anything else that comes up. We're gonna try and modernize. My house is also 50-something years old, so we are, since the day we moved in, we've been trying to update and upgrade and modernize things and fix things, so I agree.
Do we work off of a budget?
Oh,
Yes.
yes. Oh,
Yes.
definitely,
And
yes.
shouldn't that be on a budget?
It is.
It is.
It is. Oh, yeah, you can get the
So how
budget.
much is that, how much is budgeted for building?
Well, it depends. Right now, they're looking at doing a new floor in there, which has to be level, right, Judy? The floor is. Yes, and the bathrooms, new stools, and the partitions. Those are things that
Are
are.
we gonna touch our reserves again?
Well, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not voicing this. The reserves, from day one, you put so much money back. If I get a new car, and then I know in 10 years, maybe I want another new car, I might put back so much every month. And that's what they do, that we put back so much in reserves. So we have money, we do not have enough money to tear down Building B and start over. We're talking millions. Now, if we won the Powerball last night, we could have probably done it. But
You're going to kill my annual meeting.
well, no, but I want to answer their questions, so they're here.
Maybe we can let the candidates answer the question.
Yes. I think they answered that one question for Betty.
Or shameless, but anyway, I think all the other questions that I asked from the candidates have sort of stolen my thunder from what I wanted to ask. This is a two-part question, and I think everybody up there, except maybe Doug, has served on an ARC committee. So my question to you, Doug, have you ever been to a committee meeting or a board meeting to find out how the flow goes within the ARC system, if you will? And two, if all of you were elected, what would you contribute to improving the Ark from what it now stands? And in that regards, do you have an agenda? Do you have a plan, an idea? Where would you want to take this from where we're at right now?
Okay, have you still got a microphone there? Okay.
This is for each and every one of
Each
you.
one of you can answer that. Doug, go ahead.
Okay, I've never attended a board meeting or a meeting before. I was encouraged by Guy Spalding that lives on my street to get actively involved and try to put common sense into the structure of the Ark. So he convinced me to do it. I'm more than happy to give my time and effort to make things happen.
Okay, I did not point out the fact that I was the president of a homeowner association in Louis for 5 years. It wasn't just a recreational thing, it was the whole HOA, small, 26 units. I was also on the properties committee for a while, and I felt that they were kind of wasting our time.
This is for everyone.
Yeah, I just didn't answer your second question about.
Yeah, if he's done, just pass it on.
I
have no follow-up.
I didn't know we were talking about that, but I served as the Arizona Vegetable Growers president for 8 years and learned so much about how the agricultural industry impacts the state of Arizona and some of the old rules and laws that kept farmers from using things to make money was astounding to me. The first thing that I changed was the fact that if they grew melons and they were ugly on the outside, yet the inside was good, they still had to throw them away. So what we did was we changed the fact that, they're graded, as long as they're solid and healthy inside, they can send them to a processor instead of throwing them in the trash. So I understand that things happen that maybe were ruled over from years and years, and we just abide by them. But if it's time for a change, and we make the right decision, I think it makes sense.
One of the things that I would try and like to do is increase the usage of the Ark. So I know there's a lot of people around. My neighbor is one who, she's lived there for years. She pays her, she pays her HOA fees, but I don't think she ever comes down here. She doesn't utilize the Ark. So we need to figure out, people who don't use the Ark, why are they not using it? What are we missing that they would prefer to be doing? And so all the data is out there. We just need to figure out how to get it, crunch it, use it, move from there. So that's one of the things that I'd like to do. Judy?
I am involved with a lot of things at the Ark. I'm on a lot of committees. I am the chairman of a couple of committees, and I have used just about every facility in the Ark, period. I think I could bring to the Ark my love of the Ark, my want to see all of the members in the ARC area become involved with some aspect of the Ark. We offer so many things, and we're constantly adding more and more things, trying to fit the needs of our members. We need to be able to reach out to our members. They're not always reading the Ark Life. We need to do it some other way. But I think if we can get all of the members to participate, they'll find out what a terrific place this is. I've been involved with so many things at the Ark. I think we can see all of these organizations grow and reach out to the community. I believe if I were on the board that I could help enforce this. I could help the Ark grow. I could help work on Building B. I could help with all the other things that are not right now, that are not quite up to 2021. I just because of the fact I use the Ark every day. The Ark is my life. All I can say.
Okay, questions now? I can't have a long time, very patient. I don't need this, I don't speak about it.
I'm
They need to hear it.
You need it.
You need to, he's recording it, so please, thank you.
I'm fairly new to the Ark. I've only been here a year in Arizona. I love the facility. I do teach a aqua class in the evening, and I find that we're a little lopsided on what we offer and who we offer it to. We can get 21 classes during the day, we get 2 at night. We have a lot of people in this area who still work, who cannot come and take the benefit during the day. So I think I need to know from each one of you what it is you will do to get the services at night that are offered during the day, so that those people can use the facility. They pay just like everybody else does. And why does it take so long to get it on the schedule? If you schedule something, why does it take so long?
Okay, do you each want to answer her question?
I worked for the first 5 years that I lived here, and I did come to the Ark many a time and ask, why are things not offered in the evenings? And it just didn't happen. And that's when I was talking about I'd like to get more members in here. I remember taking an art class in the evening. They offered an art class. 3 people showed up. There was some other thing, but I did find time to try out to be in the entertainer's play. I was involved. I did find time to, be in other organizations that would meet on the weekends or in the evenings. I tried. And it's also, the members have to give something too, besides just sitting at home saying, why don't they have something at night? Yes, we need to offer more things at night, more exercise, more art classes, maybe have some of the rooms opened up in Building C for them to do arts and crafts, maybe have some games in the evening, some card games, etc. It wouldn't be hard to do, we just have to work on doing it. We need to find out what the population would like to do.
I would like to see the board work directly with some of the clubs to try to address this and not make it a huge bureaucracy of trying to do that. For example, the wood shop can't be open unless there's a monitor there to oversee what's going on. And we don't have enough monitors to even run 2 sections during the day. But that needs to be fostered by the Ark management here. For example, if somebody was willing to come forward from the community and offer a wood turning class, for example, and wanted to do it in the evenings, we ought to be able to facilitate that. But it seems like the clubs don't get all the support that they could from the board and the staff.
I agree with you. I'm also a fitness instructor, and I know it's hard to get people to show up at night. One of the problems is a lot of people say, I want this class at night, I want this class at night, I want to be able to come after work. Then you start a class and then no one shows up. They wanted to be there when they want to be there, right? And so one of the problems, just a second, one of the things that I've noticed is that if we want to have things at night, we need to encourage people to volunteer to do those things. So if you want to do a club, then start a club. Get other people who work during the day to come at night and have a club. So that's one of the things that I would like to do, is get input from people like you. What do you want to do? Let's figure out a way to make that happen. Let's figure out a way to have more things at night.
Well, I know my 2 full classes at night, I have anywhere between 20 and 32 people in my class.
That's great.
So
that's great.
somebody has.
Yeah.
Then I offered to do line dancing, and I got shot down for that. So I went out and I got signatures for people who were interested in a line dancing class in the evening. I filled out all the paperwork and
and sending it to the board, is a good way to approve. You do that. I think that's good. That's a good point. Oh, the board doesn't always hear this, you know, and
Right.
you really, you can come to the board meetings, you can send a correspondence ahead of time, and we read it at the board meeting. I think we're very open. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, any other questions now? Anybody else? Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I'm doing my walking tonight.
That's good.
Get your steps in.
Yes,
You see, there's evening exercise.
That's right. I'll start an evening class walking.
I am fairly new to the community since April. My name is Mary. I was listening to some of the things that you were saying. I'm a former facility manager for the city of Phoenix. Excuse me. There's liabilities, there's staffing, so we have to really assess everything that needs to have all those amenities that you guys are all talking about. We also have issues with COVID still. It's still out there, it still exists. So I think the turkey thing, next year, probably not this year.
No, that's too late.
And it's just, and the scale and magnitude of developing an event like that, it takes a lot of time. So anyway, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, anyone else? Is that it? Got it. Oh, no, you had a question earlier, a comment earlier.
Thank you. I'm Andy Wickstead, and I am on the board. And I thank you all for volunteering to run for the board. That's a tremendous thing. We like to have lots of candidates. Many of you have already answered my question, but I wanted to go over one more time. Is to indicate, especially by Mike, that you want to have more people participate at the ARC. And so we talked about night classes. We've talked about better support for the clubs so they can have night activities. What kind of things would you recommend that you as a board member would really heavily promote to increase our participation?
Are you asking what activities or what kinds of things would we do to interact more with the members? Like, I think we need to do more to get more, not really a survey, because like Judy says, not everyone reads the ARC. And I know that they put things in the ARC before, like if you have comments or questions, send them to the board or send them to Amy or send them to wherever. So I think we need to have another vehicle of getting input from members. I don't exactly know what that would be, you know, like office hours for board members or something, you know, where people can come and write or whatever it is, but maybe not right, it's not the right word. But yeah, and I think there's a lot of opportunities as the people that are coming in are getting younger and younger. We need to start catering to some of those things too. So I think we need to expand the realm of activities that we have available. So that would include the evening classes as well as the ones during the day. Did that answer your question? Yes.
Again, I think that the board needs to work with the clubs. The pickleball people play pickleball until 9 o'clock, till they close the doors at the ARC. The other extreme might be the billiard people. Maybe they could put on a tournament where the invited people to come. It's not just the same half dozen guys playing pool there on Wednesday afternoons. It could be any club can work towards bringing people in to their organization and their activities, and maybe it's a special thing. I know that the wood shop did a wood turning event. They had 13 people showed up. They didn't follow up and become active members, but it was an activity that they brought in new people themselves. They didn't have to go out and do a survey, and then you get surveys that are totally biased because you only look at the people that responded. But there's lots of clubs could work to get a broader scope of participants.
I agree 100%. I think the responsibility of the board is to develop new ideas that makes sense for the community, involving the clubs, involving whoever else wants to get involved, and then have the consensus of the people get involved with it so we get more participation. So.
I think that if members who are interested in having things happen outside of work hours should come to the club and tell us what they're interested in. Do they want a book club at night? Do they want an art class at night? We need to get out and speak to the ARC members and let them know that we're here for any of their suggestions. I haven't had time to think about how to do that yet, but I think that if as a committee we meet together and we talk about the issue, we would be able to come up with a solution for what is happening. And I agree, it is something that is very necessary for us to take care of. I mean, we have weekends. There are nothing is going on here. Weekends would be such a great time to have different activities, etc., where people who are working can come to the Ark and see what we have and participate. And that's just something we're going to have to look into as a board and think of everything you've said here tonight and discuss it and come up with a good plan of action.
Okay, I'll go here and then I'll come over there.
Maybe I can speak loud enough.
Okay.
My name is Sylvia Holt, and I'm volunteering in the gift shop. And just to give a positive spin that sometimes we definitely need, Friday morning, last Friday morning, I was there from 9 to 12, and it was absolutely delightful. I had two couples, relatively new to the Ark. One had been here 4 years, but they were working, and so now they came in, and they were retired, and they were interested. The other couple had been here just 2 months. They were picking up their tags. Then there were additionally 2 women that came in. Without exception, all 6 of those people, they were so excited they had picked up the current issue of the Ark Life. Oh, I can't believe how many things you have. We want to get involved. It was so inspirational to hear them. So we're not totally negative here. We are doing and providing, and maybe new blood is what we need to see once in a while and to have feedback like that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me get him and then I'll come back. Oh, you got an answer? Okay, good. Okay. Betty, can you wait for me or talk louder?
No, I need a microphone.
I do agree with all of you that we need more activities. We have an activities director that should be going out, reaching out to the clubs and finding out what they would like to do. And, other than just doing the newsletter or something like that. So I agree with all of you that we need to reach out to the residents here, the members, and see what they want. And, and the other thing too is some of our members are getting up in years, and they don't like to go out at night either. But there are younger ones that will do that. I don't need to have anybody answer questions.
Yeah, I guess that.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay. Yes, Dean.
I just have a comment too. I think we need to do things, but I don't think it's entirely just up to the board to go out and see and try to get people to come in. I think each one of us that live in our different neighborhoods, we have seen a great deal of turnover of people. If we as members of the ARC want to see this place expand and have people here, it's partly our fault because we have not gone out and asked our neighbors to join us. Why don't you come with us to happy hour? Why don't you come with us and go down to the pool for a couple of hours? We could do a lot and not just put it on the board. The board would have to make the final decisions of the additional classes and stuff, but I think we as members really need to go out and churn up our neighborhoods, because I know on my street, I can tell you, I really don't know a lot of them because they're just behind their closed doors. And if you don't knock on the door and find out who they are, invite them into your home for coffee or whatever, talk to them. We had a neighbor come over just before we came. She works, she just got home from a vacation, but we sat and talked for about 45 minutes. And she's so excited that I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that. But it takes us to bring the people in.
Can I say something? Yes. We also have an activities committee. And I believe, yes, the board can push and recommend, but we have an activities committee that should be working on these kind of situations. It's not just all on the board's shoulders. We have other committees. And people should go to the activities committee and say, we would like to do this, we would like to do that. And they should be working with the activities committee.